Hi, I'm Barb Morris. My dad turned 76 about 6 weeks ago, and shortly thereafter, he was admitted to the hospital. He was experiencing shortness of breath. We were worried at first about his heart, but it became obvious very quickly that the concern was really more that there was a tumor somewhere in his body based on the fact that his oxygen levels were so low in his blood. After a colonoscopy, the doctors confirmed that in fact he did have a tumor on his colon. This was very scary for our family because cancer has touched us personally. My brother lost his wife about 12 years ago to cancer. So when this came into play, we were all very, very concerned. At that point, I really did go into prayer and really relied on the Lord for carrying us through this process. I was finding that as I was writing my prayers down, I was avoiding the process, right? I was saying, oh, please pray. I pray, Lord, for the doctors and the nurses. I pray for, the Holy Spirit to fill up the room. But what I wasn't praying for really was what I wanted, and that was I wanted him to be healed. And I wanted that to happen as quickly as possible. And at that point, I realized that I had to be honest with God about what it was that I wanted in my prayer life. And at that point, it just opened a whole new level for my asking for what it was that I wanted. Yes, I wanted all those other things that I mentioned, but I really wanted him to be healed. So my dad went in for surgery, and the news afterwards was very encouraging. The doctors said that they were able to get out the entire tumor as well as some of the lymph nodes, and that was very hopeful for us. The only outstanding piece of information was the pathology report, which would take about a week. During that time, we were very thankful to the Lord for what he had been faithful in providing for us through the surgery, a very successful one. And I found myself in that place again, right where I left off, and that was to say to the Lord, you know what I still want, right? I want that pathology report to come back, and I want it to be completely clear. But I knew, and we all knew, that based on the early test results, that was very unlikely, that in fact this tumor had probably spread at this point. But I was bold, and God knew where I was. I picked up right where I left off. And so the relationship really was deeper because I was already very honest with the Lord about what it was that I was praying for. About a week after the surgery, about 3 weeks ago now, the doctor called my dad with the most amazing news. That was that the pathology report had come back, and in fact, it had not spread throughout his body. So other than recovering from the surgery, my dad did not have to go through radiation or chemotherapy, and in fact, the cancer was completely gone. This was so far above anything we could have ever hoped for. Of course, I was honest about what I wanted, but the science didn't suggest that was even possible. So when my dad called me and told me, I knew right away that the only way that could be was through prayer. We were all praying for this, we were bold, and we were honest about what it was that we wanted. And in this particular case, God did answer those prayers in a way that was far beyond what we could have ever hoped.